Can you see me?
Yes.
Yes. Hi. I don't know if people can see me or not. It's hard. It's a webinar. Yes, they can. Okay. Um, Hi, I'm Zibby Owens. I'm usually more organized than this. It's really great to welcome everybody here for our author preview. This is going to be so fun. You're going to meet all the authors who we know well and love and think are just the greatest. So this will be so much fun. The books that you're going to hear about are fantastic. The authors are excited to tell you all about them and a little bit about themselves. After I speak right now, you're going to meet Kathleen Harris, who is our executive editor. If you don't know her already, she is so amazing and is really responsible for overseeing the production of all of these fabulous books. She is the greatest at author care and getting to know everybody and just approaches everything with so much heart and also expertise. And so she's the real deal. And by the way, if you're pitching subsequent books, you can email her instead of me. I'm kidding. Anyway, best of luck to all the authors as they talk. No pressure. And thank you for everybody here who is supporting us in any way. Booksellers who take our books, bookstagrammers who pay attention to us, media that gives us some ink anywhere, and most of all to all the readers and librarians and readers who are here who are excited about what we do and know that from our past books we have some more great books coming. Of course, our backlist is also always really important, and we always consider everybody sort of top of the list all the time. So you can still dig into our backlist, which is on our website, zibbymedia.com, and just enjoy. I hope you have a lot of fun, and I can't wait to watch all the little talks. So I'll turn it over to Kathleen.
Thank you so much, Zibby, and welcome everyone. And I think why my job is so wonderful because I get to work with these incredible authors who have written an amazing lineup of books. We have a little something for every reader here, from immersive family sagas to essays that challenge the status quo. There's really something for everyone. And I think because these authors are so amazing, we do a lot of spreading the word about each and every book. We feel so passionate about each one, but it's always helpful to hear it straight from the person who created it themselves. So without further ado, I'm going to start with our May book, I Want You More, by Swan Huntley, which just came out yesterday. So congratulations, Swan. It's a spicy summer read about a ghostwriter, and it's set in the Hamptons, and you will not be able to put it down. So welcome, Swan, and let us know more about you and your book.
You're muted, Swan.
You did, Swan.
Hi, I'm Swan, and I'm technologically challenged. I hope you can hear me. Thank you so much for coming. My book is right here, I Want You More. This is the best cover of my career. I had my launch last night, and these are the flowers that the Zibby team sent me, which look like they came from the bottom of the ocean. My book is about a ghostwriter who goes to the home of a client in East Hampton. As Kathleen said, they fall for each other, things turn dangerous. That's the quick elevator pitch. And I'm doing some more events. And if you live in New York, I'm doing some events with Zibby in August and would love to see you there.
Thank you so much, Swan. You won't want to miss this one. The reviews call it spicy, it's intoxicating. It definitely has a wonderful twist in it too. So it's a perfect summer read. Next, I'm thrilled to introduce Jocelyn Takis, and this is her debut novel, Pierce Oysters. It is a stunning work of climate fiction set in the Louisiana Gulf after the BP oil spill in 2010. We've already received some incredible praise from this book from Meg Wolitzer, Alice McDermott, Shelley Reed, and so many more. I really encourage everyone to take a look at this. It's a beautiful, beautiful novel. And welcome, Jocelyn.
Hi, thanks. I love this cover. I just received my hardcover version of the book this week, which I couldn't be more thrilled about. I Okay, so a little bit about me. I live in Portland, Oregon, but I used to live in Louisiana where this novel is set. And the novel is about the largest accidental oil spill in world history, the BP oil spill in 2010. And it follows a family that runs an oyster farm. They've been in business for over 90 years. And this is a family that does not get on even in the best of times. So they're gathered under one roof for the first time in a long time as oil makes its way towards Louisiana's coast and to their oyster farm. It's based on years of research and an oral history project I did with oyster farmers in Louisiana many years ago now. There are betrayals in the novel and love stories, and it's about a family living through an environmental disaster and how that changes them. I think there's explorations of eco activism and politics, and of course, there's quite a bit about oysters in there too, which are an amazing animal, I've come to find out, and one that plays a hugely important role in the health of coastal ecosystems. It comes out, as you can see, on June 25th.
Thank you so much, Jocelyn. Next, we have The Goodbye Process by Mary Jones, which is coming out July 30th. This is our first collection of short stories, and they are unique, breathtaking, haunting at times. You won't want to miss this, and you will not forget them. They stay with you for a very long time. Mary lives in Los Angeles. Welcome, Mary.
Hi, thanks so much. The Goodbye Process is my debut collection. It's a short story collection that is unified by a central theme of letting go and moving on. The stories are also connected by place, upstate New York, where I was born and raised, and in some cases, recurring characters. I didn't set out to write a book about loss. I think I wrote probably about half of the stories when I realized that they all shared the same theme, and that I knew that it was something that I wanted to explore more deeply. I think when people think about loss, what often comes to mind is the death of a loved one, but there are so many other kinds of loss, so many other things we have to let go of and say goodbye to as we go through life. And I wrote this book to give people a space to explore all of those other kinds of loss. Loss can be desperate, like in the story From Outside I Can See, where a woman literally camps out on the porch of an ex-lover who's barricaded himself inside the house. Loss can be terrifying, like in the story Absences, where a preteen girl whose father recently abandoned the family finds herself in grave danger when she's caught shoplifting. Loss can also be hopeful, like in the title story, The Goodbye Process, where a man hires a professional mourner in order to ensure his wife's funeral is going to be a success. Again and again, the characters in this collection find themselves facing the ends of things: relationships, health, innocence, life as they know it. In glimpsing key moments from their lives, my hope is that the reader will gain a deeper understanding of how we all survive loss and what it means to be human, because grief is something that unites us all. I think this book is good for anybody who likes literary fiction, especially people who like literary short stories that sometimes move in dark or unexpected areas, like stories by Joy Williams, Miranda July, or Lauren Groff. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Mary. Turning to September, we have another LA-based author, Ava Delira, and this is her adult debut, Exposure. It's a provocative story rife with thought-provoking topics about artistic ambition, cancel culture, and the many layers of truth. And what is truth? It's perfect for book clubs, and I'm really excited to have Ava here share the story.
Hi, I'm Ava. I'm the author of the young adult novels Love Letters to the Dead and In Search of Us, and Exposure is my adult debut novel that I have been working on since I was pregnant with my daughter, who just turned 6. So I'm really excited that the release is now finally just around the corner. The book begins in 2004 with Juliet, a white college freshman, and Noah, a black high school senior. They're two lonely souls who forge a connection and after a night of drinking go home together. The book then goes both backwards and forwards in time from there, getting to know their lives and the lives of those closest to them as we explore themes of loss and grief, the intensity of new motherhood, the power of female friendship, the tension between artistic ambition and romantic partnership, and the effects of race and class. It's 12 years later when Noah's done the impossible and broken through in Hollywood. He's just made a record sale of his film and is awaiting its release, and he and his beloved wife, Jessie, have just had their first child. Then, in the early days of their newborn daughter's life, an article comes out. Juliet's best friend, Annie, is accusing Noah of raping Juliet back when he was in high school. This book is told from multiple perspectives, both Noah's and Juliet's, as well as Annie's and Jessie's, as their lives are unraveled by the night in question and unlikely bonds are formed. At its heart, I think Exposure is really a book about what it means to empathize with two opposing sides of a story and the possibility of holding space for multiple truths at once.
Thank you so much, Ava. Such a wonderful cover. Next, in October, you will be riveted by The Undercurrent by Sarah Sawyer. Sarah is an English teacher at a boarding school in Massachusetts, but this is not academia fiction. Her novel is a beautiful work of literary suspense that follows a new mom back to her Texas roots. So I'd love to welcome Sarah.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Kathleen. As Kathleen said, my name is Sarah Sawyer, and my book, The Undercurrent, is coming in October. As an English teacher, I have to say that I live in a 9th and 10th grade boys dorm with about 40 boys. I teach 10th and 11th grade English, and I'm currently looking out at a quad with a chapel. So whatever you're picturing is probably exactly it. Unfortunately, there's also a mower right now, so I hope that is not too loud. So The Undercurrent is about a new mother named Bee Rowan who becomes obsessed with the story of a girl who went missing in her childhood neighborhood. She dives down some internet rabbit holes and decides to go back to Texas. She's telling herself that she needs to reconnect with her mother and bring the new baby to see her, but secretly she's hoping to uncover some clues about the long lost mystery. Instead, she ends up stumbling on a family secret that has been the undercurrent of her own discontent all along. I wrote the novel not because I'm especially interested in missing girls, but because the process of becoming a mother myself and now watching my daughter grow up, she's about to graduate, she'll graduate on Saturday from high school, has been really fascinating to me as a woman. I've been amazed by the number of transformations that process has required. And watching Anna, my daughter, it just sort of feels like every time you get a sense of self as a girl, there's a new self required around the corner. And that idea was my point of curiosity in writing the novel. So I'm very, very excited to get it in the hands of readers. I'm really grateful to all of you for coming today, and to Zibby Books, of course. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And I just want to give an update that at the end of the webinar, we'll be posting a link in the chat that can get you more information on all these books, sign up to request galleys, and we'll be emailing them to everyone who's attend as well. So now turning to November and our author, Emma Gray, who's on the other side of the world right now. We're thrilled to share Emma's latest novel, Pictures of You, which is a follow-up to her best-selling adult debut, The Last Love Note, which we published recently this past November. Pictures of You is a story of love, of second chances, of intrigue and suspense. Emma, thank you so much for joining us, where it is in the middle of the night in Australia. So it's an extra special treat to have you here.
Oh, thanks, Kathleen. It's always lovely to join you any time of the day or night. Um, I think what the last love note did for the theme of love and loss, Pictures of You does for the themes of love and control. The protagonist, Evie Hudson, wakes from the accident that killed her husband to discover that she has no recollection of him or of anything that's happened during the entire course of their relationship or that time period. She's not really liking what she's seeing as she wakes up in this life. And along with the amnesia storyline, there are flashbacks to first love. I had written a couple of young adult fiction novels before The Last Love Note, and so it's been a joy to explore that era of life again. There's this delicious friends to lovers romance, and it is, as Kathleen said, set against this backdrop of suspense with the darker thread of coercive control, which I think is just so topical at the moment. Anyone that has appreciated that recent Man versus Bear discussion will appreciate Pictures of You. It's fast-paced, accessible fiction for people who love Marion Keyes and Jojo Moyes and Sally Hepworth. It's set along my beloved Australian coastline, and it's really for anyone who's ever wondered what their 16-year-old self would make of the choices that they've made in life, and for anyone who's ever felt trapped in a relationship, and anyone who longs for a second chance at falling in love again for the first time.
Beautiful, Emma. Thank you so much. Now we're turning to the new year, to 2025, with our book, Happy to Help, Adventures of a People Pleaser. These are essays by Amy Wilson, podcaster, actress, memoirist. In Happy to Help, it's her insightful collection of essays about how women, especially the oldest daughter like Amy, are subconsciously taught to say yes when they probably should say no. I'll let Amy put in her own words. Welcome, Amy, who's based in New York City.
Thanks, Kathleen. Yeah, so my book is called Happy to Help, and it's funny essays about what tends to happen when you're the kind of person like me who is happy to help. I feel like people who are happy to help are both born and made. And in my case, it was like a perfect oldest daughter, class president, Girl Scout kind of experience. But I think that that's also true for almost every woman I know, that along the way, we are told that we're supposed to be happy to help. And most of us really are. But people who are happy to help, of course, end up with too much to do on their to-do lists, or at least more to do than time to do it. And, you hit this point of overwhelm. And when you then express that overwhelm, you're then often told in response that you should have just asked for help for yourself, that that was all that it required, and this problem never would have occurred. But in my life, when I've asked for help, I haven't usually gotten help. I've usually gotten advice in the forms of fixing myself. And this is both on a personal and societal level, right? That women who are overwhelmed need to get a sense of humor, lighten up, stop being such perfectionists, stop trying to control everything around them, stop making things harder than they need to be. And being this doobie that I am, I have along the way really tried hard to follow each one of those pieces of advice, only to find that they were not at all helpful. So that's why I wrote this book. So this essay is full of all the times that I have supremely over-delivered, that I have just kept going with something that just was never going to work, or that I was overwhelmed and asked for support and got a bumper sticker saying in response instead. The book is for women of all ages. It starts when I'm in 8th grade and even goes back a little earlier than that. And it ends when my daughter's in 8th grade. So it really comes full circle. And I hope as a whole, it really drives home the message that sometimes there are just things that cannot be fixed. But when there is something that needs to be fixed, it might be something besides yourself. So I just can't wait to get this book out in the world and start the conversation.
Thank you so much, Amy. In February, we have Zibby Books author Meg Tatey, who's returning with another fun women's fiction novel called Bluebird Day, about a mother-daughter ski duo that's set in Switzerland. It's the perfect winter read and so much fun. It has Meg's amazing voice throughout, and I'll let Meg take it from here.
Thank you, Kathleen. Hi, everyone. It's 90 degrees here in Western Mass, but I'm pretending like I am in the Swiss village of Zermatt with the Matterhorn behind me, which is the backdrop for my book. So as Kathleen said, my novel features Claudine Potts and Wiley Potts, and they are alpine ski racing champs. They have been estranged for many years, and now they find themselves back in Zermatt. They're only supposed to be there for one day, but an avalanche socks in the town, and the only place to stay is a youth hostel with bunk beds. This novel examines mother-daughter love, the achievement mindset, how society views competitive women. It features a quirky cast of other youth hostel guests from around the world. There's a budding romance for my character Wiley. There's a lot of Swiss pastries, a male a cappella group, and at the heart of this book, there is a big hidden secret. You do not have to be an amazing skier or even a okay skier to like this book. I'm actually a terrible skier, but I really loved interviewing former Olympians and skiers and elite athletes about what it's like to focus your entire life on a sport, and then by 30 you're too old and you have to retire and you have to remake your entire life. And so what does that transition look like? And I also asked the big question, is the glory worth the sacrifice? This novel was also pulled from the headlines in 2018. An avalanche actually did sock in the town of Zermatt. There's only one way in and out. And it stranded 13,000 tourists for 5 days. And I remember reading that and thinking that would be a great backdrop for a book. And so in writing this book, I'm a former journalist, and my favorite thing is interviewing people. So I interviewed tourists who were stranded there, the head of tourism of Zermatt. What was it like to go around with a bullhorn and announce that, hello, you're stuck here for 5 days. So it was really fun to get at the heart of what this experience was really like for people. The term Bluebird Day is a ski term, and it means a bright blue, sunny day, optimism hanging in the air following a snowstorm. And for me, this was really the metaphor for the mother and daughter, the storm that they weather as they try to reconnect. So thank you so much. I hope you love it as much as I loved writing it.
Thank you so much, Meg. It's amazing. For March, I'm thrilled to introduce you to Nanda Reddy and A Girl Within a Girl Within a Girl. Nanda is based in Reno, Nevada, and this is her debut novel. It's an immersive, gorgeous family saga that follows a young girl and her secrets from Guyana to the life she's created in Atlanta, which is threatened to blow up when a letter arrives from her sister. Book clubs won't be able to resist this one, and I'm really excited to have Nanda share more.
Thank you, Kathleen. Like Kathleen said, I'm Nanda, and Zibby will be publishing my debut novel, A Girl Within a Girl Within a Girl, on their spring 2025 list, March. This is the story of a woman who hid her past from her husband for decades and who is forced to come clean when her secret family finds her. The protagonist is Maya. She's a 40-something suburban American woman living with privilege. No one in her life knows that she arrived as an undocumented immigrant from Guyana when she was just 12 years old. No one suspects that she lived 3 identities prior to becoming Maya. And though she's hidden all of this, she's always expected a reckoning, and it arrives one morning in the form of a letter. Her deaf sister, Roshi, who she was once very close to and who is now sick with breast cancer, has found her. It's a genetic cancer that Maya might also have. And so, realizing time's no longer on her side, Maya has to reveal the truth to her unsuspecting husband, potentially risking everything she's built, her family, her security, her home. The narrative interweaves Maya's present day dilemma with the story of her past. So readers watch her grapple with coming clean as they come to understand the details of her immigration and why she changed her identity so many times. They also learn the dangerous stakes of Maya revealing her true identity and outing herself to someone who's pursuing her. This is an immigrant story and it's a coming of age story, but it's also a story of identity that I believe a lot of people can relate to. I'm deeply interested in identity stories, perhaps because I'm an immigrant. When I was 9, my family left Guyana for the US. We arrived with papers. I grew up in the suburban, rural Miami area where much of the story takes place. And I was part of a huge Indo-Caribbean community, but I quickly became aware of the need to code switch, to hide parts of myself, erase my accent, even deny parts of myself in order to fit into the larger American culture. Most people who are distinctly other engage in some form of that code switching, but I believe everyone does it to some degree, hiding parts of themselves, depending on circumstance, and essentially curating their lives. So when the novel opens, Maya believes the life she built as an adult is her true life because it's the one she chose. And she wants to believe that she can permanently divorce herself from her difficult past. So in many ways, this story asks the question, can you ever really leave your past behind, or does your past define you? I believe it's a universal theme and one that I hope appeals to a wide readership. I hope you enjoy the book, and thank you.
Thank you, Nanda. In April, we have a first, but certainly not a last, with John Kenny, New Yorker contributor, best-selling author. He's written a glorious, hilarious, heartwarming novel called I See You've Called In Dead. And it is really funny. And a book about finding the meaning of life. For a book about finding the meaning of life, you can't help but laugh out loud. It's 6 Feet Under meets The Office meets About a Boy. But John can talk about it much better than I can. So welcome, John.
Thank you, Kathleen, and thank you for the opportunity to speak with all of you today and for taking the time to be here. I'll be honest, I'm not exactly sure why I'm here. I was just told by Zibby they needed a guy. So thank you. As Kathleen said, my name's John Kenny. I'm a former advertising copywriter and the author of 2 novels and 4 books of poetry. I'm also a longtime contributor to the New Yorker magazine. After 28 years in Brooklyn, I now live in Larchmont, New York, with my wife and 2 children whose names currently escape me. My Zibby book, as Kathleen said, scheduled for April 2025, is called I See You've Called In Dead. It is a funny story about death, which is, of course, the pitch sentence every publisher longs to hear. Let me start again on that one. It's the story of a recently divorced middle-aged obituary writer who drunkenly writes his own obituary one evening, accidentally publishes it, is fired, but then because he is deemed technically dead to his company's computer system and can't legally be fired when dead, is instead suspended pending an investigation into trying to determine to the company system that he is in fact alive. In the interim, at the urging of a woman he meets, he tries to find the meaning of life by going to the wakes and funerals of strangers, by facing the universal truth that is death, by being inspired to live fully, and by honoring life. There is also a very steamy sex scene. By very steamy, I mean tepid. And I think by tepid, I mean the 2 words I may have heard from my wife in the past, those words being, that's it. So that's something to look forward to. I wrote the book because I feel like, certainly in my own life and the lives of friends, we walk through life looking for something, reaching for something when usually it's right there waiting for us, if only we take the time to look. That too often we act as though we have plenty of time, always enough time, when it is actually a fleeting gift. I was inspired to write the book by something one of my 5 brothers said the last time I ever saw him. He was in the final stages of cancer, but he was home and well cared for. My 4 other brothers and I planned to visit. I happened to arrive first. My brother Tom was in a lounge chair, too thin now, but smiling still himself. We talked for a bit, and I heard a car pull into the driveway, and I looked out the window, and I said, "The others are here." And with this Buster Keaton-like timing, stone-faced, my brother Tom sort of dropped his arm over his side, let his head fall to one side, and trying to suppress a grin, said, "Tell them they're too late." I wanted to capture that in a book, not the story, but the tone, the essence of finding humor, of having the courage to look this universal unknown in the face and maybe smile. As for who this book is for, I think it's every living human being on the planet. That's what Zibby told me to say. I hope it's for anyone looking for a life-affirming story of wounded people who find deeper meaning simply by looking, in the gift of learning from death. I think it's for anyone who's ever stopped for just a moment and thought in the lonely 3 a.m. of the night, holy crap, I'm going to die one day. What am I going to do with that knowledge? And then they truly tried to answer that question. Thank you.
Thank you, John. You have such an ability to make us laugh and feel incredibly deep, which is quite a talent. Turning to May, and just in time for Mother's Day, we're thrilled to present Pamela Redmond's book, The Matriarch. It is a fun, propulsive novel, and best-selling author of Younger, Pam has captured the spirit of a woman at the head of her company and her family so brilliantly. I know you're going to love it. So welcome, Pam.
Thanks, Kathleen, and thanks, Zippy. I'm so excited about The Matriarch, partly because I feel like women who are my age are often reading about heroines who are younger than them. And this book is focused on a woman who's in her 60s, who's lives on a sprawling estate in Montecito, just down the beach from Oprah and Reese. And with her extended family, they all live and work together. And then her oldest son and business partner and kind of love of her life goes missing at the same time as her other love of her life, her one true love, reappears. And it throws her life into chaos. The Matriarch is a book that kind of transcends genres. I think of it as more romantic than a thriller, more thrilling than a romance, and more dramatic than most family sagas. It's great for intergenerational readers, mothers and daughters, book clubs made up of women of different ages, and it's for anyone who loves stories that explore what female lives are like across the generations. So I'm really excited for next Mother's Day and looking forward to The Matriarch being out in the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pam. Closing things off, we have The Summer We Ran by Audrey Ingram. This is Audrey's 3rd novel, her first with Zibby Books, and it's amazing. It's a dual timeline love story with the political backdrop of a Virginia governor election. So there's romance, heartbreak, secrets, ambition, all the makings of an essential summer read. So welcome, Audrey.
Thank you, Kathleen. I'm Audrey Ingram, and I'm so excited to tell you about my Zibby book, The Summer We Ran. This novel is about 2 teenagers, Tess and Grant, who come from very different backgrounds, and they fall in love. But their summer romance ends in heartbreak and feelings of betrayal and unfortunate secrets that they both keep from one another. Tess and Grant don't see each other again until 2 decades later, when they are running against one another to become the governor of Virginia. The Summer We Ran is about the power of your first love, the secrets we hold closest to our heart, and those twisty paths we take chasing our dreams. It's a novel told in alternating timelines. So we have the hot summer of 1996 in the foothills of Virginia's Blue Ridge Mountains, where Tess and Grant meet and fall in love. And then 25 years later, when they're both on the campaign trail in the summer months leading up to the election and confronting a past that is really rapidly threatening both of their futures. I hope readers enjoy the nostalgia of a teenage romance juxtaposed with the tension and high stakes of political rivals. It's a book that examines how much our past defines who we become, and whether our background or the mistakes we may have made in our youth limit our futures. As Kathleen said, The Summer We Ran is my third novel, and I am a writer and attorney living in Purcellville, Virginia, which is about an hour outside of Washington, D.C. So thanks so much. I'm so excited to share this book.
Thank you, Audrey. And thank you to all our Zibby Books authors and everyone who's joined us today. We are so proud of this list, and our passion and excitement is undeniable. And I hope you are just as excited as we are about it. As you'll see here, we have contact information for everyone on our team. There will also be the link in the chat that Diana's just posted to request galleys, more information, to join our mailing list, to stay on top of tour dates and other events as well. So again, thank you so much for joining us.
And thank you to Kathleen, by the way. Kathleen, amazing job with all the introductions. Another thank you to people who aren't featured, but first of all, our entire team behind the scenes and literally behind Kathleen right now, but you don't have to see that. Oh no. Thank you to our entire team, our amazing publisher, Anne Massetti, on the publicity side for anybody who wants to have our authors come and do anything. I mean, not anything, but you know what I mean. Erin McGrath, Diana Tramontano, and Katie Tees make up our publicity team and are wonderful. So those are for outward bound stuff, those are some of the people to contact, and of course our great marketing and partnerships. We have so many great people. Everybody's amazing, and if you need anything from us or you want to help us in any way promote these books, the authors, as you've seen, are so talented. The books are even better than they sound. Just wait till you dive in and see the great writing. If you want to partner with us or have the authors featured in any way, reach out. You can always reach out to info@zibbymedia.com if you don't know where to go. And be sure to follow us on social media at Zibby Books Publishing, because we always have great, fun stuff related to all these books there. Of course, I always post about things on Zibby Owens, and follow our Zibby Media Minute newsletter, which comes out once a week and has all the important updates on all the great things that we're doing over here at Zibby Media. So thank you all so much for coming, and thank you mostly to these great authors for writing these fabulous books that we have the honor to present to all of you. Thank you.
Yeah.